Hello everyone, welcome to today's block in. So I've got the drawing down, so I know exactly where I'm going, but then I'm just gonna fill in areas, start building up the darks, start building up the lights so I can put final color layers on top of everything else. So here goes. Big spaces, big brushes, quick block ins. I'm not trying to be really pretty here necessarily. I'm just getting this in. Still want to keep the integrity of my drawing, but on the whole, I am still keeping it loose and lively. To be extra careful next to my drawing wherever I can be. Following my arch around. Thank you, tools. Awesome tools that help me get a perfect half circle, because I would not be able to do so otherwise. Goal is with this painting and is to really let you see it start to finish. I've got the main ground layer down, and then I'm following that up with the drawing just in white charcoal on top. So transfer the image however you can do so best. When it comes to a bigger composition like this, I'm going to use a projector system so to make sure my composition stays intact. It's kind of nice, the oil paint and the thinner just breaks down that mark, breaks down the white charcoal, which is really, then it's almost as though it was never there. Do my best to maintain a little bit of a lighter value against this arch that I'm trying to achieve. Might even just use a different stroke so I can remember where that edge is in my drawing. Just watch that mark disappear. Not too worried about getting a lot of color at this point, mostly just value. You know, this background is going to be dark, so I'm just trying to achieve that. Because the final color layer will do the rest of that work. Occasionally a third color layer is needed. That's why I like to start with a kind of a mid-range value. In this case, it has some color. It was just a raw sienna. Excuse me, not raw sienna, raw umber. Wash put on by my assistant, Sean. And then buffed down so that there wasn't too much mark on it. Have any questions, you are welcome to fire those off any moment, and Sean will read those to me. One of the fun parts of live streaming is, especially from the home studio, is realizing, hey, my internet is only so good. So got my other computer's Wi-Fi turned off, so I can't see comments.
It still says the stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So I don't know if we can fix that or not. It says the stream status is good, so I think it's okay.
How's volume? Everything coming through on OBS?
Yeah, you can really hear everything.
Cool.
Like the click of my mouse and tapping the keyboard and popping my knuckles. So
Yes.
really got a good speaker on there.
Microphone?
Yep. So do you want me to wait to post the Instagram one?
Yep. Yeah, we'll give it a little bit longer. See if anyone else pops in.
There's
Yeah.
2 people in right now.
All right. Welcome. This is your preview as patrons, so feel free to comment or say any questions. Got me all to yourself for the first moments of each live stream. So this time is yours. Make the most of it.
Nobody's making the most of it.
So be it. Then just hang out and watch. That works too. I'm probably gonna go until about 4:30 today, so it's just however much gets done. Just however much gets done. Got 3 people in the studio today. Sean, my assistant.
Yep.
David, my graphic designer. Not really.
Yeah. He is a graphic designer, though.
He is, yeah.
Just not.
And really good one at that.
He does do good work.
No ducks though this time.
It's true. We don't have any ducks. They grew up. They're all grown.
Well, we have one on the backyard, but yeah, he's big.
He's big. And if you fall into a window well as a baby duck,
You come here.
you come here, but you're really not happy about it.
He's not happy about anything.
So soon and very soon, he will be off on his own, where he can,
Meet other duck friends.
yeah, maybe learn how to be social.
And less angry. You know, it'd be pretty cute, like a little duck psychiatrist sitting in a chair with a notepad. Well, Donald lays on a couch. Just sits on a couch.
Get on it, David.
I think you'd have to hybrid that one. A smart duck.
With a dumb duck.
Yep, I'm just working my way around.
We're up to 3.
Hello, everyone. Glad to have you. Right now, this is the patron-only time, so please let me know what you'd like to know, what you'd like to pick my brain about, anything. So this is your time, and before everyone else is invited in.
Why is the paint so much darker around Nikki than in the other places?
So you probably can't make it out at this point, but there is some architectural elements going on in the background. So basically, it's a shadow being cast in the inside of an arch. So we're just trying to give a little bit of a place. Right. Yeah, if we get this filled in, then we can think about doing some of the lights and the darks on the figure. I wanted to, just in case you're here and you're like, oh, this is really exciting part of the painting being done. Well, first of all, this is how it all begins and how it's built up. There are ways to paint with one layer. But I find, at least for the figure, it's especially nice to do a little more of an indirect method, have your darks and your lights built up. You can call it an underpainting, but I'm not really trying all that hard to get the underpainting to be just so. I like a little bit of energy left in it, and it just doesn't need to be perfect, really. I'll, for the kind of final layer / second layer, depending on how good the second layer turns out, It's kind of all, it's all I need to give just enough of that. It's nice because light is traveling through all these layers. I mean, right now, you're seeing, not only are you seeing the white gesso underneath, but then you're seeing the ground layer. And now here's actually layer number 3. And so light is traveling through all of those layers, and that's what makes oil painting so incredible, is the effects that you can achieve. And I don't mind leaving this a little rough back here because it's going to help when I go to make it stone. I'm not going to really try to describe in really specific ways what the environment in which they are, but I will try to at least give a little bit of information just for just what the characters need. I don't know, if you think about going to see a stage play, sometimes the sets are really elaborate, and other times they're not, and you don't necessarily get hung up on that, because really what you're paying attention to and what's really being played out is the story in front of you. So just something that hints at it is oftentimes enough.
So how many layers are you going to have on there?
Probably in the end, we're looking at 3 to 4. All depends on coverage and how it turns out. Sometimes playing with some of that transparency is fun, and just leaving it there even though it's a little unfinished. You can roll with it. It doesn't need to be exact. Every part doesn't need all that detail because you still want paint to be paint. So don't worry about trying to get it just so. But sometimes its state is good enough with the rest as is.
So once you're done with the background, what are you going to work on next?
Hard to say. That's often decided almost on a whim. So it depends. Sometimes I'm anxious to get to the figure, that kind of the main characters, and other times I'm really okay with working up to them. It just depends, and I don't really know, and gotta shake it up. So never do it the same way twice. Yeah, I mean, it's good to have a method, sure, and it's good to really like rest in a method, but at the same time, I'm just always shaking it up to see what else can happen. So we'll see. I don't know. I'll probably look at it in a couple days and I'll say, oh, this is where I'm going today, and that might be it.
How long do you think it's going to take you to finish this?
No idea. Sooner the better, as always, but hard to say.
I mean, it is a really detailed painting, so. Well, we're up to 5.
All right, welcome.
Nobody wants to ask a question.
It's good to have you, patrons. Let me just take this moment to say thank you very much for being here, for having the stream up, and you're my heroes. This is, I mean, it's your constant support that helps me buy this canvas here. That just, I mean, every step of the way is your help and your generosity. So just if you say nothing, just know that I'm tremendously grateful. It's good to have you. In fact, I'm thinking, I really hope this can work out in some way. Where this painting and 6 others, yes, you heard that. There's actually a total of 7 pieces I'm making in this commission. They're all going up in the same place, and I'd love to have, and I think I should be able to, as long as the client is willing, but we're going to have a special invite for patrons only to come and see them in the space, and trust me, it is going to be something the likes of which you've not seen. I was just there today, and some of the woodwork has been done in and around the space where these paintings are going to go, and it is just remarkable. It's amazing. So you'll want to be there for that, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity to do so. I'm going to work as hard as I can to make that possible.
Ernie Wood asks, which of the 5 mysteries is this commission you're working on?
Sure. So this one, the 5 joyful mysteries, and this is the Annunciation. So this is Gabriel coming to Mary, announcing her soon-to-be child, saying, "Hey, you are about to have Jesus," and so oftentimes this scene is depicted. You see the dove up here in the left, representing the Holy Spirit, and the angel Gabriel, sometimes with or without wings. I leave that up to what the client desires, and then lilies. So we're gonna have some nice white lilies here to represent purity, and so yeah, this is often a scene depicted quite a lot, and so this is this is the first of the 5 joyful mysteries. I'm planning on going in order as long as I can maintain it.
What's the next one?
Thanks, Dad. Good question, Dad. Love you. Next one is the Visitation, and the Visitation is when Mary, who goes to visit Elizabeth, Elizabeth is the mother of John the Baptist, or John the Baptizer, and it's there that when Mary arrives there, Elizabeth says, "At the sound of your voice, the baby leapt in my womb." And so this is another oft depicted scene where Mary and Elizabeth meet, and are sharing, this critical part of the overall narrative, that John the Baptist would go before Jesus, and that would tell, basically give Jesus enough credibility in order to stand on, as John names him the Lamb of God. So again, we have another little kind of shadow area behind this arch that I'm going to put in on this side too.
So I bought this chair, and it said it had a slight squeak in it, and so I was really excited about the chair, and the squeak is much more than just The quick squeak, little squeak.
Hey, we've got oil around here though, plenty of oil. So we'll see what we can do about it.
Ernie Wood asks, have you already completed all of the modeling for each painting?
No, I wanted to get a few more done in one go, but time and resources and planning and just weren't quite available to me. So I just have this one ready and am swiftly trying to get it started. More than anything, I want to get some ground made on all these. Look out, switching to the left hand because I want an angle. Oh my word, what am I even doing? Playing with fire, being dangerous. Really not ambidextrous, don't worry.
That's what I'm going to name this after we get done. Left-handed painter. And people will come in and really know what they're looking forward to. And they have to stick around to see when it happens.
That'd be the one time that you guys.
Right, but that's
false advertising.
It's not false advertising, technically.
Yeah, I had a little bit of time yesterday to paint. I was just really wanting to get something on the canvas, so I did Mary's face yesterday. As I was saying, you know, the order in which I do things varies according to how I'm feeling that day. Maybe I need a little more engagement, so you know, I might work on the figure or I might work on the background. It just depends. Kind of excited to be back on the live stream. We had about a month off there from the last time we did it, and so it's great to have you all on. And I need mix more of my black. It's nothing special, but I like to mix my black and make what's called a chromatic black. You know, it reads as black, but it's made from burnt sienna and ultramarine. And I like the way I can tilt it slightly. I can move that black to a little more of a blue if I need to, or a little more of a brown, just depending on what the picture calls for, what the painting calls for. And what that does too is then I use those same two colors throughout the painting and in many other places. And so, you know, the background color, which it is a color even though it reads as black, it's just our eyes, whether we realize it or not, are picking up on those same elements in other areas. So, you know, I'll use these same colors for the skin tones, and I'll use the same colors in the drapery and all throughout.
Well, we're coming up on 30 minutes. Do you want to do the Instagram thing?
Yep, I think we're ready to have the stream go live and open it up to everyone else. If no one else, no other patrons have specific questions.
There's 0 people here.
Well, there you go. Let's do it. They had their time.
Oh, yeah, there's 0.
Yes, I guess it doesn't work when we're on there.
I know.
I thought it would. Maybe it's just this.
No, it says 3 watching right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, this is 2 minutes off, but I don't know.
The algorithm knows better. It's like, nah, this is going to the same IP address. I'm receiving a phone call. I'm sorry. I'm not answering right now.
Alright, let the floodgates open.
All right. And you've gone to public.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And by floodgates, single-digit numbers.
With that attitude. We're gonna hit triple digits today. Right, David?
If we get to hang out with our friends a little bit, that will be worthwhile. Just let me know when someone pops in. If you're watching this at a later time, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And if you're watching at a later time, you've already heard me talk about mixing my black, putting it in, and I'm working a little farther than I wanted to there. This big brush covers a lot in a short amount of time. It's a little messy though.
I wonder if Barack's gonna drop in.
We're hoping. If not, I bet he watches later.
Hey, Micah's here.
Micah!
Micah!
What's up, Micah?
I don't know if I should have said his name. He texted, he didn't say anything in the group chat. Oh. Sorry, Micah. I mean
Charles.
Yeah, my bad. I just got really excited.
But since you're on, you should ask a question.
What kind of questions does the random other person that's watching this have?
That we don't know.
In real life.
At all.
Not at all.
He said it's fine. So that's good.
Yep. Dodged another lawsuit. Ah, that's good.
Hey, Micah, on your end, is it buffering a lot? Because it keeps telling me that it can't maintain smooth streaming. but on my phone it looks alright. So I didn't know if somebody on another Wi-Fi IP address sees something different.
That might be delays and might take a bit.
I just don't know why it's so bad right now. It wasn't so bad last time. Last time it ran really smooth.
It's a different day. The sun is shooting solar flares at us and things. I don't know.
Chemtrails.
Whatever.
I can talk a lot about those things. Okay. Micah said that he's getting some buffering, but it's not bad, so that's good.
That's good.
You want to talk about the sun?
The sun? No. We're good. It's off my pay grade, man. I'm just an oil painter trying to get by in this crazy world. All right.
It was. I know it is.
Are you on data or what?
I'm gonna go on data.
And two, since, you know, I've got kids, they could be watching something, you know, that's just life. Could be watching something downstairs. Who knows? If you haven't yet, Sean, you can go onto Facebook and put the link in the chat on Facebook, because it should have automatically posted it to it, but you're going to need to actually include the link. I think share it on my personal profile too. Exciting thing is we're kind of almost done with the background, so get this blocked in a little more. We can move on to something a little more interesting. But here you go. I mean, this is a reality of wanting to paint, be a professional artist, is doing some backgrounds now and then, or every time. paintings are going to be about 20 feet in along a clerestory area. If you know where that is in a church, even though they won't be in a church, but the space is meant to evoke a church, and so they will be along, it's kind of near the ceiling, not on the ceiling, but higher in areas where it's windows. But again, a pretty remarkable space. So just chiseling away with this big brush. We're almost there. I like using a big flat because I can sometimes use the very corner to stay near my drawing and not lose too much of the integrity of the drawing. And since it's going to be stonework back in the background here, I think that'll be okay too if some of the shapes are a little more jagged and rough. Okay, there's a little bit of a light that kind of hits the inside of this curve, and since I'm pretty much locked in here with the camera, I can't step back and see how everything is looking yet. So if I've got a weird drawing issue, it'll just have to be addressed later. All right, that's awesome. That's basically the background. So we can maybe start working on the angel Gabriel's face.
If you got that much of it done, why does it take you so long to actually do a painting?
Right.
You basically just did 60% of the 70% of the painting right there.
Right. Except that part's not even done yet. Yeah, we're going to take a little longer here.
So you can't just paint it like you painted the background for the rest of it.
Yeah, that's doesn't work that way, sadly. So I'll still use mostly it's mostly a flat here to begin filling in some of the darks on the face, so that hopefully we can really establish those, and then we'll just see where we get. Maybe we'll get to some of the lighter values too, but we'll see. Yeah.
Okay, I got a super bad headache, so I'm gonna take some time.
Okay. I lost my assistant.
David, tagging you in.
Tag.
No pressure. I'm just kidding you about it.
Maybe I will start putting some lights in. I don't know. I just can't help myself. So the lights of the garment here. start. Can take a look at the face and just build up some of the lightest points with this white, mixed with some Venetian medium. I just learned about this medium maybe about a month ago or so, and maybe a little over that. It's a live stream kind of workshop, paid workshop with Will St. John, and he used Venetian medium, and it has crushed leaded glass in it, and a few other things. It's definitely want to take care with it, and it looked. It's interesting because I was like, well, if we're getting a little more reflected light in some of these underpainting layers, you know, if it catches the light just a little more, then great. We can see what comes of it. See if it creates some more lighting effects here and there. So much like I was just filling in darker areas in the background, we do similarly with skin tones and anything else that of a lighter value. I'm gonna come back in and start building up some of the darker values too. Value change is pretty extreme, and then I can use the ground layer as my mid value. I don't have to quite cover it, but I can use it already as it is. And when it comes to this layer, I'm not really chasing after a whole lot of accuracy just yet. And so I recommend to you as well, don't, if you're working on underpainting, sure, don't lose the integrity of your drawing, but try to continue to stay loose and energetic. Mix up just a little bit of gray, darker gray here. I'm gonna lay that in here and there. How we doing, David?
Good. No one's asked questions. Your head's kind of in the way of what you're painting.
Good, that's great.
And 0 viewers right now.
Good.
But I believe that mic is still on. I don't trust the concurrent viewers that it says right there. I did get off of YouTube though, in order to possibly make sure the bandwidth was there.
Yeah, this is not exactly viral video material here. You're not gonna be or get terribly excited about this, simply because this is kind of like working out day in and day out, where you're like you want the results, you want the painting, you want it to look really good in the end, but this is the part of like getting up at 5 a.m. every day and going to work out for an hour. This is that part where like you know what's going to happen, but nothing is quite satisfying in the moment. So you just have to roll with it. As I said, it doesn't make for great hard-hitting video material. But we did have a request. Someone said, please show the inner workings of the underpainting, and hey, this is for you. So now you know we take requests, so if you have a comment or a thought, let us know. Just nearly blocked in. The major lights and darks of the face here. Purpose is not, I mean, it just depends on how far you want to take it. For me, I just never take it too far. Other artists would be horrified that I'm kind of keeping it this loose and muddy at this point. It's just a little bit of a guide for when I start working on the final layers. Right, and that's a good enough block in for me on the face, just knowing that I'm gonna come back in and tighten things up, but that it was really achieved my goal there. It's also a good time to make adjustments in the drawing and try to correct things that are just a little funny or off. I've not gotten too far in the painting yet, so this block in, value block in, it's really good for that. It's giving you that opportunity. Sometimes I'll use my mirror here to take a look at something, see it a little fresh, see if it looks strange or bizarre. So if anything looks wrong, allows for a quick critique. I think it's looking good. Still blocking in these lights and darks. Don't want to lose my drawing, especially on the anatomy. Don't want to lose the edge of the arm here. Light it just a little bit.
Golly. That scared me.
There's other ways. So sometimes when you're doing the ground layer, if you already have your drawing established, you can wipe out and wipe back down to your gesso layer. But this is the way I usually do it, which is just kind of creating. I like this this white that has this lead white, I should say, that just has those crystals in, and the medium also having the crystal, the lead crystal glass broken up in it to just create what I hope is a little more of a luminous painting when all done.
Anna Dawson doesn't have a question, but she says, "Bless you."
Hi Anna, good to see ya. Thanks for coming. Great to have ya.
Well, David, we're only an hour into the live stream, and you get the first comment because you're sneezing.
Bless you.
But really, bless you. Bless you in your life, in your marriage. You're welcome.
Promise coming days you'll get to see this unfold. We're not gonna stop working on this, and the goal is to really do it for each of the paintings here. So if nothing else, it's something you can tune into. I'm hoping nearly every day, but some days maybe less than others, but like this day, it's not terribly exciting, yeah, but all part of the process.
And so the more detailed we get, the more close-up we'll get into the specific parts that we're working on?
I think so, and probably the greater desire people will actually want to watch. It's like, how does that come together? Well, because right now, I mean, it's just...
What kind of things do you think are going to be really interesting to watch?
Oh, I think working in fabric, anything having to do with the figures, so faces, hands, be good.
It's crazy they only worked on that for like 5 minutes and it looks just like Anna.
So
I was really surprised by how quickly you can make that look like her.
yeah, and you know, I mean, facial structure, you know, you're kind of following the planes of the face. So
I don't know what that means, but it looks really good. Like the bone structure and stuff.
mm-hmm. Yep. Probably go for another 30-40 minutes here, so we'll just see who comes in, who hangs out, who has questions.
It seemed to be last time that we did this in the afternoon. We had quite a few more viewers, so I think it's just going to depend on, you know, because everybody around the world could be watching, so, you know, like Barack in Turkey, he's probably asleep right now.
Maybe.
Well, it was like, what, like 11 or 12? It was like midnight for him?
I think it's more subject matter, personally, because, you know, right now, and by subject matter, I just mean what I'm actually working on, is the... I mean, this is the time of instant gratification. So if maybe I have to watch this part, that's not cool. I want to watch the 10-second video where it comes before my eyes, and I'm amazed.
Are we going to do that at the end?
I don't know.
I mean, that's what people want to see. don't think it'll be like 10-second. We can do like a 5-minute video. But every platform people do time-lapse videos, and they always do really well. So I think if we can do another one, it'll be pretty good.
I'm going to be in front of it too much, I think, for it to be really good, like a good, well shot.
I think it'll still work because you're still seeing everything that you're working on. Anna said, only just happened to see the link on Facebook, so I missed the beginning. Are you doing only the Joyful Mysteries or signed on for all 25?
Just the Joyful Mysteries, yeah.
Are there 25?
Apparently.
Wow.
So I'm just a filthy Protestant, so I don't know everything about that, but I will say yes, I do now know the 5 Joyful Mysteries.
Well, let's see. There are. It's the Mysteries of the Rosary.
Yeah, the Rosary. Mm-hmm. Yep.
The resurrection of Jesus, the transfiguration of Jesus, Pentecost showing Mary in the midst of the apostles, the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. And then, yeah, there are probably 10 more. But, yeah, so you did. Are you doing Christ among the doctors?
No, the Joyful ends Christ in the temple as a young boy.
Yeah, this website says the 5 are the Annunciation, the Visitation, the Nativity, the Presentation of Jesus in the temple, and Christ among the doctors.
Well, they mean presentation at the temple is, the part with, hey, you can dismiss your servant in peace, for I have seen your salvation. But among the doctors is just, I think, a different verbiage for when he was left behind in the city and they went back, found him in the temple talking to the teachers.
I see how it is. So these are all...
Yeah, they are, yes. That's how it's kind of all structured, yes.
Yeah, Anna said, joyful, sorrowful, glorious, luminous, 20, I guess. Christ among the doctors would be when Joseph and Mary lost track of Jesus in the temple.
Yeah. I was going to say, Anna will be working on these for these 5, probably up until the end of the year, and so it's going to be a busy time. So hoping to live stream them all if we can, and see how far we get. Gladly accept any prayers over this creation. Happy to receive those. David, you got another sneeze to break the ice? Sun's not out, so you can't even like look at the sun to try to muster one up.
Stick something up there. That'll work.
Some pepper.
Poke your sinuses.
It's a little bit delicate working in and around the hand. Definitely don't want to lose the drawing on the hand, but also want to get everything in there for the next couple color layers. All right, that's a good rough blocking of the hand and the face. I'm thinking that leaves us maybe to this bottom hand down here. If I can get that in, then we'll kind of be in a good spot to close. So let's just see if in the next 20 minutes or so I can get there, get that described.
Since you're gonna stay on the hand, do you want to move the camera so we can get a close up of the hand, or?
I don't think so. We'll just with this kind of rough block in, we can just leave it as is. And then this session itself, we'll be able to create a lapse of that someone can follow, not a weird like jump to a different spot.
So how do you reflect what's on the camera or the computer onto the canvas? How do you reflect what you're doing right now on the arm that's on the computer that you can see, and then paint it onto the canvas without like having a block system or a grid system or...
Oh, well, that's just where, that's kind of where drawing, just then years and years and years of drawing from the life model. It's kind of a comparative method. So I'm just looking and I'm kind of assessing the value and the shapes present, and I'm just continuing to draw. Which could have done for the whole thing, but there would have been errors that I didn't feel like dealing with and correcting. So it's amazing really how little we have to put in for it to start making sense. To start reading. In space. If you're just joining us, or if you have been watching this whole time, and if you have, bless you. Today's goal is to block in some lights and darks, and then wait for these layers to then dry, so that I can begin working on the final color layers. So purpose of this step is creating a value foundation on which the rest of the painting will sit. I've already put down a ground layer. I've already drawn out the image, and then now it's time to begin building the major value relationships. And all layers are semi-transparent, and you want to play with that when it comes to oil. It's just one of the great powers of oil paint, is how it's slightly see-through. So creating these layers on top of layers on top of layers, it's hard to know what you're looking at in the end, because it just looks like kind of one continuous image, but you're looking through a number of layers, and that's what creates these great effects and everything that you love when you go to an art museum. and you look at the old masters' works, and we just sit there in awe of what they've created. And so, this is all of the work that leads up to that. So if you can't hang through kind of this part, then don't expect your work, your oil paintings, to have the same life and vitality.
So do other oil painters not do this base?
No, there's different ways. Again, that's one of the beauties of oil, period. You can go more of an alla prima method, which, I do a lot of work in that vein. You can do a more indirect method. That's what we're doing here, is we're building up our layers for an indirect method. And you're just not going to achieve that the way light travels through the layers any other way than doing it this way. Alla prima, you're painting it more or less just on top. You're using the color as it stands, and it's quite beautiful, especially when done well. Artists who I think do it phenomenally well are Nick Alm, just incredible. Daniel Keys, is amazing alla prima work. This is more floral based, but a quick look at Nick Alm's ability to kind of capture the figure or whatever he's working on very quickly and intuitively, not necessarily going for a layered approach, although he probably does it in some works. But yeah. So it can do different things, and that's one of the great parts about its versatility as a medium. It's all the ways in which you can apply and use it. And you can mix those within the same painting even. And to a degree, we will in this one.
Hey, we hit 6. That's the first time in the stream.
All right, sweet. Hey, welcome everyone. Good to have you. If you have a question about this part of the process, please reach out. I guess there's way more to look at than those got to look at earlier in the stream, because we at least have a few things blocked in here. But if you just joined, working on what will be I hesitate. It's not really an underpainting, but it sort of is. You get people who are really touchy about, well, this is called this, and it is only this, and all right, I'm not here to fight or argue about any terminologies or what is truly an underpainting and what isn't. That's just silly. But more or less, I'm trying to build up the values that are going to go beneath what I hope will be my final color layer, although oftentimes there ends up being a third layer of color or a third layer of painting on top of this. Technically a fourth if you count the ground layer, which we do have working on top of right now.
Anna said, do you go from dead layers straight to fresh flesh colors or use a vertigo? Sorry if I missed you say so. All the kids in the world just ran into my house.
I'll just work on top of the dead layer as you called it, and because I'm still working mostly opaque, but I know that I'm counting on that buildup underneath to give me that little bit of oomph in the final layer, and it can be thin in places and still work, or I can use it so it'll be a little cooler or a little warmer. So yeah, I just will kind of utilize it as needed. And in fact, like, one of the great things about painting is to leave some of those parts bare. And if there's ways to, for me to even just use this ground layer in places, because that does the job describing what's in that space, then that works. So I think finding a way to work all that out together that's one of the exciting things about painting in this method, is kind of seeing at what point is it done, is that area finished, and does it work. And it may take a little more effort than you'd want, but sometimes it just does. It's a good question. Yep, I think when I finish this arm, I'll probably call it good for today. Probably tomorrow will look kind of similar to today, as we still block out the deepest darks in the figure and the deepest darks and lights in the drapery and other areas in the canvas. So more of tomorrow happened today.
At least we got started.
Yep, we're going. I think it'll definitely be something to check in on throughout the next couple of weeks, just to watch what happens. It's really the magic is.
Or you can just watch the entire time.
Yep, put it on in the background. And when we get a few more people, more questions flowing, then we talk about all sorts of things, and that's exciting. So even if you just want some company, some people just making noises in the background, happy to oblige.
Yep, there are definitely some noises going on in the studio during the day.
That might have been aimed at my children, who often come and go. Although right now we have the door closed, so they...
Yeah, it's more aimed at us.
Okay, that kind of noise. Okay, got it. Yeah. Bathroom humor.
Or season.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Or chairs squeaking.
Yep.
Fingers cracking. Legs rustling. Keys clacking.
Yep.
David, I think that's the first bit that you've contributed. Other than your sneeze.
Staying quiet today. Well, I think that just about does it. So I just want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for taking the time today. And we'll be back working some more on it tomorrow. We'll see how far we can get. We're just going to try to be available and be here doing it. So come and join us. Come ask questions or comments, anything. It's all welcome. Hope you have a good rest of the day. God bless.